Right here from Wani with us today. We have Anton of Beast in Black. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Hope you're fine too.
I'm good, man. I've been listening to the album for a while now. It's something that has charged me up every time I listen to it as a beauty behind the record. And I got to give it to you guys for writing something in such a short span of time. But before we talk about it, you got to tell me, how's the band feeling right now that this is the first step? You know, the child is born and now fans are going to wait and check it out.
Yeah, we're really excited and actually pretty busy. Like we're doing preparations for the upcoming tour now. That kind of is an all-consuming thing, at least for the next 2 weeks or something like that. The first gig is 28th of October, so yeah, very busy until that.
Awesome. And obviously the record is going to be out early November, and Berserker as the title, has a very strong meaning. It's as good as a sort of an apocalyptic sort of a vibe. So what was the sort of thought process that went behind having a name like Berserker, having that fantastic cover art that resembles madness, insanity?
Uh, the album cover itself is kind of an interesting thing because the guy who made it, Roman Ismailov, is a very close friend of mine, and he was not supposed to make this album cover because he hasn't worked like on bands for many years. But I just found this old draft from my email, which was from 2010, and then I, contacted Roman and told him, "Hey, do you want to finish this sketch which you started 7 years ago?" And then he just got excited about it, and we started to work again after like so many years of break. He did the first album cover of Battle Beast, and now he did the first album cover for Beast in Black. So, yeah,
That's really great. I like how diverse the record is. It's not only got that heavy metal vibe. There's a tinge of power metal, sound in it. Obviously, you're adding a lot of disco and the synth pop elements as well. So there's a lot for a metalhead to absorb when it comes to Beast in Black. What was your intention? Were you trying to basically write an album with a diverse sound instead of just one path, which obviously you as an artist wouldn't prefer?
Yeah, the goal has been like to make a diverse album since the first album of Battle Beast, and now that's the fourth Beast album. Like to me personally, nothing like has really changed in terms of making the wholeness of the album. There should be fast songs, mid-tempo songs, at least one ballad, some symphonic, some synth pop stuff, something more traditional metal, and that's kind of the formula that I use. If you could say that I have a formula, even though I don't, but like that's kind of the guideline for myself, to remember these things. Have a song from a little bit of different genres, so, yeah. But still, even those synth pop influenced songs and everything, they're all still like heavy metal because there are some things which don't happen in synth pop music, but those things happen in our like synth pop songs. So, and those things, for example, high screams, guitar solos, and like heavy guitars in the background, even though there's a disco beat and keyboard bass and stuff like that. So I think that brings a little bit of uniqueness to the sound as well.
Sounds good, man. And obviously the record starts with Beast in Black, and I love how Yanni's vocals actually are one of the highlights of this album. I mean, I'm not well versed with this guy, and the moment I heard the very first track, I knew that he's right there in the business. He knows his stuff. He has a fantastic voice, a really good combination of the high range. And obviously, each and every one of you are really good at your own instrument. Obviously, you being the mastermind. So from where did you come across Giannis? I want to know like how you discovered him, because he is one of that hidden gem of this album, because he's really put a lot of effort, there's a lot of power in his vocals, and that actually adds to the record.
So I found Yanis on YouTube. I think it was 2014 or something like that. I checked all his vocal covers, what he had done until that time, and the albums where he had performed with his Greek band War Drum. I was impressed, and then we were in contact through internet for some time until we met face to face for the first time in 2015. Then I told him more about what I have in mind, like if he would be interested in joining this project that I was getting started with, and he was, and here he is now. So let's say that YouTube is a great tool of like searching like talented people.
Absolutely. And I love how the track, like Zod the Immortal, showcases a completely different sound to the rest of the record. I mean, if you listen to something like Blind and Frozen, Blood of a Loin, and then you have a track like Zod that is completely different. And obviously, Yanni's those amazing that flips he does between the rough and the falsetto, effortless. And I like how he sounds a bit out of control in some parts, which is something that is a beauty behind his vocals. A really wild track, not only solos, not only the guitars, not only the vocals. Each and every song on this album like packs a punch. A lot of thought process gone into the ordering as well. I feel you might have spent a lot of time to figure out where exactly Blind and Frozen will fit, and where exactly a song like Crazy Mad Insane would fit in.
That's great to hear. Thank you. But to be this credit would go to Kasperi, the other guitarist in this band. He did the running order for the tracks. But I agreed with him when he showed it to me. I was like, yes, it makes sense. What he made. So it's important that the track, the running order is like that. It feels good. There must be something like where it's based on, not just random. It's a thought through thing for the tracks. So
absolutely. How's your guitar dueling with Kasperi? I heard a lot of dual solos, really great melodies. In fact, even on the first track itself, how's your working vibe with him? With him, writing some of the killer solos on this album.
I mean, to me, Kasperi is like a guitar god. He's one of the best heavy metal guitarists on the planet, and it's an honor like to have him in this band. And if we compare it to Battle Beast, there was no like split solos that many. Like I played 90% or 95% of the solos, but this time with Kasperi we share equally, more or less. I didn't count exactly how many solos he and I have, but it's something like 50-50 for, and that is the only like it. You have to use that talent what you have in the band, to get their best out of themselves. And Kasperi is like, he works like a true professional when it comes, for the guitar solos. He prepared himself so well that he recorded everything like in 1.5 days. He recorded all his parts. So I like admire that way of working. So it's very effortless to work with him in the studio. He comes totally prepared, and I think he changed only one short thing in the studio, but everything else was pre-written like carefully and practiced.
That's really great. And then were there any songs or any riffs that you had written, obviously for Battle Beast, and which you would have probably kept it somewhere in your collection, which may not have been part of the Battle Beast sound, which you were able to introduce now in this band? Were there any of the songs that actually didn't make it to, let's say, the first couple of Battle Beast albums, and then obviously you brought it here because you felt the sound, the vibe kind of matched Beast in Black?
It's always a hard question to answer about these songs and riffs what I have, because I have a big song like library or like catalog, so to speak, which started to build up since my teenage years. I've been writing songs ever since. And with every album so far, it's always a combination of new and old. Like the Beast in Black album has some songs which the oldest song is from 2009. It's the bonus track Go to Hell, which is on the digital version. So it's 8 years old song actually. But the lyrics were written only during the Beast in Black time. But the song itself was like the first version of it was written so many years ago. And Blind and Frozen is actually a combination of something that I wrote also like 7 or 8 years ago, but the chorus was written like in 2016 or 2015. I don't remember which year, but it was a brand new chorus. So it's a combination. And then there are tracks which are totally new, like the title Berserker, Beast in Black song, it's totally new. Born Again, it's totally new. And then Blood of Lion is, I think the first version for that song was written in 2013 or 2014. I was thinking of having that song for Unholy Savior album. The title was different. It wasn't called Blood of a Lion back then, but that was considered to be on one of the Bellevist almost. But it's a kind of a emotions have a big role also in choosing songs. It's always after I choose like 30 songs, then we listen together with the band, like which would they choose, like from these 30 songs, to squeeze it into 10 songs. Then they tell how they feel about that, and then I like do my own selections. And in this case, we ended up having like 70% of our choices were the same. So it's a good sign, and that kind of points out that okay, so these songs like clearly stand up for their place on the album, so they must be there.
Indeed, totally agree with that. You're going on tour with Wasp, as you mentioned, obviously a different kind of a band, and you're supporting them. So I'm sure you would have done some sort of a research that it's sort of a platform for you guys to grab new fans, let's say the Wasp fans, to introduce to Beast in Black, and that would really be a great addition to the band, keeping in mind that the album is also releasing while you're on tour. So there are really good chances of a lot of new fans getting to know you, getting to know the sound of the band, and obviously all the members.
Yeah. I mean, the whole tour was it was a great chance when I heard, first of all, that there's this tour happening and they don't have the support yet for that. And I was like, hell yeah, we're gonna try to get there, talk with our manager, and it happened. And it's one of the main influences, like from the bands. Wasp is one of the main influences for Beast in Black, personally for me as a songwriter. Which also like is a special thing, just because of that, to get on tour with that. And it's traditional heavy metal, in my opinion, what Wasp do, and we also. So we really hope that people who come to the shows will all become like our fans who haven't yet heard of us.
Take care of yourself, Anton. Good luck with the release, man. Okay, kill it.
Thank you. Take care.
See you. Bye.